you ever felt unsafe in your own home? And when I say your own home,
so hi ladies.
I'm talking about
hi Jamie.
Waiting for that
Hi Jimmy.
Y'all got that. Y'all kind of did nice.
You walking in the street, and your presence just invites violence and hostility, as though you're the trigger to
so,
why men have a bad name.
Then going into like love and its toxicity, man. I just think like as I was playing the joints, I was looking at your guys' reaction, and when I played the woman Scorned, and for me that joint was real. Like it came from a deep place, you know, and like I kind of felt like sometimes it's crazy looking at how like things happen in this world, or what's starting to happen now. It's almost like it's a trend, and it's crazy. For you as ladies, how do you guys feel? Like I need you guys to like air out what you air out, man. Like I feel like as guys, this is our opportunity for us to listen, and I need you guys to like talk to us.
I think it all starts with you guys. You know, Karabo was actually a very good friend of mine. So she went to a school just near mine, so we used to hang a bit, and yeah. But something very important that her uncle Tebo mentioned at her memorial was that it's time for people to stop asking what the girl has done to deserve what's happened.
Sure.
The main issue here, moreover, in a post-colony, democratic system, is that many of our young men grow up without father figures. But it's one thing having a father present, but it's another having a dad socially active in the household.
Sure.
And when he is active, what does he get up to? You know, does he beat up his wife in front of this young man growing up? Because it's human nature to mimic our role models. Sure. You know? And I mean, I was personally in a situation where I had to backtrack on a partner's upbringing. Sure. And realize that as much as I was in a situation where I did see my dad beat on my mom, and I did see my mom forgive my dad numerous times until she walked away after 20-something years, he had also gone through a very traumatic situation. Sure. And I think guys need to, as you said, this is a space where we can now tell them, you really need to start doing introspection on yourselves. Sure. You know, we don't define you as a man, you define yourself. Sure. You know, it's not up to me to love you so that you love yourself enough to love and respect me. Sure. It needs to start with you and your healing. And you need to understand that by saying that you need to heal, I'm by no way taking away the fact that you're a man, the fact that you are a very strong part of society, the fact that you can deliver as the father of the home and as my companion. But there's some soul searching that you need to do to become an even stronger asset, to the household. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing. Like, introspection for men is unheard of. It's always about what Karabo did wrong, what Kenzani did wrong, what this and that person did wrong. And it's not even wrong to myself. The only thing I did wrong was allowing myself to go through what I was going through. Who puts him in a space where he is told to go do introspection and work on himself? Also, do we have a social system that supports the idea of a young man rehabilitating after he has, because as much as he's hurt me, he's also hurt himself. He needs as much help as a drug addict, as an alcoholic. That's just how I see it. What measures are government or people in power putting in place to be able to rehabilitate these boys? Because it's something that is intergenerational. It's a very big thread that goes through, and trust me, his son is probably going to do what he's doing.
I always had this conversation with my ex where we were talking about that we were dating when this man were trash. Conversation was very loud, and I just really enjoyed the conversations that we were having, in that this men are trash thing is a societal and generational manifestation, where when you're brought up as a guy, like into Kali, phakathi, and wow. I mean, all those tears that you keep inside your heart are gonna render you a monster when you're 13. Do you know what I mean? So we need to encourage men to start to start acknowledging their emotions publicly. You know, I think part of the reason why, and and don't get me wrong by saying I'm standing with abusers or I'm making excuses for them, but if we're trying to eliminate the men are trash conversation, we also need to eliminate the things that we're doing as a society, particularly women that stand with patriarchal you know, habits and upbringing that contribute to those kind of things. You know, the aunties and the families, the mothers and the grandmothers and the in-laws, what they're doing with their sons, you know, to disrespect their daughters-in-law, how they're raising their sons to teach them that, you know, like those are the kind of things that end up in you and your husband alone in the house, and next thing you're getting kicked because that's all he knew. That's all he was taught when he was growing up. You don't cry. You must. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of things that, I mean, naturally as a human being, if you bottle things up, you're gonna blow up. And as women, it's okay for us to cry. She's a woman. She's gonna cry about it. With a guy, the minute you like, it's like, dog, you know, toughen up, dog. You know, you're a man. You're supposed to be strong. Every time I hear any guy in my life say that, you know how it is for guys, I'm like, fuck that shit, bro. Like, undo that. We have a lot of undoing to do for men, because the reason why they're beating us up is because they can't say it, and they don't know how to say it, and they've never been taught how to say it. So yeah, I just think like we need to make it okay for guys to cry. We need to make it okay for guys to say, I don't feel too good, I don't want to do this, I don't want to come into work, I just feel down, I just need a hug. Because I think that's what helps. That's what helps you to kind of deal with life. I don't believe that men don't have difficult times or they don't experience difficult emotions, and the facade that men have to be tough and the men have to be gangsters bullshit, and is what's breaking families, because you end up people that make decisions on your behalf because they couldn't speak to you about it.
Exactly.
You know, you decided for me. We're no young daughter. You decided for both of us things that impact my life. You decided on my behalf because you're a man and you were given the right over my life. How? I have my own voice. I have my own life. So we need to be able to. We need to enable men to express themselves emotionally. We need to enable men to deal with their emotions intelligently, because it comes out in different ways. Like I've experienced, you know, somebody who doesn't do it intentionally, but they are assholes because they don't know, they're not emotionally intelligent. They can't tell between body shaming and making fun. You know, how far do you go in making fun of my body versus admiring my body? It's all one thing to you. Like, and for me, I get humiliated when you point out my flaws in front of people and you're like, oh, yo, bruh, yo, what? And it's like, bro, that's my body struggle, but you have no emotional intelligence because no one taught you how to deal with this stuff. So yeah, we need to teach men how to handle their emotions. More than anything, we need to teach them that it's okay to have emotions and then express them. And then I think it gets better, because before someone slaps you, they would be like, you pissed me off, I didn't like that. As opposed to just coming in with a slap. Do you know what I mean? Then it's like, what didn't you like? What don't you understand? This is what was happening. This guy is my friend. He's here because 1, 2, 3, whatever. Not kick me first and then ask questions after, or rather accuse me, as opposed to knowing what was happening. But that's because you don't know how to approach the situation. You don't know how to handle your emotions. So yeah.
Easy.
I think that I agree. You know, it's so played out for me to constantly hear that when a man is in touch with his emotions, he's weak. That really needs to change, and it needs to change from a very, very young age. Like, we also need to change the narrative of, well, if you're in touch with your emotions and you express yourself, you're soft, you're weak, are you gay? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous, and it only hurts all of us in the long run. And I agree with the change. We also need to change. I mean, we're growing up, we're women, we're gonna have kids maybe one day, we're gonna have sons as well, and we need to change our thinking as well in the way that we speak to men, the way we speak to boys, and the way we teach them how to carry themselves. I also don't think, in the same breath, I also don't think that the accountability is solely on mothers or solely on women. I think it's a collective that needs to change. You know, if your nephew, little brother, or your son is crying, don't run over and be like, no, stop, that's not what men do. That needs to change, because it's something that you are inculcating in a kid from like very, very young. That's why it's so difficult for men to speak to their women about what they're going through. That's why it's so difficult for men to be like, I actually cannot do this. That's why men go through so many things, and at the end of the day we also suffer on the other side. And then when we're suffering, when we're being hit, it also comes back to us like, why were you there? What did you do to piss him off? Why were you wearing that? Why were you out with boys? Why were you? I think another thing that's so big for me is like, the accountability cannot always be on the women.
Yeah.
We need to also hold people and men accountable for the decisions that they make as well. And like G was saying, like, go to the root. Go to the root of it. Don't automatically be like, well, you know, Jimmy kicked Z in the back and it's something that she did, or Jimmy kicked Z in the back because she was wearing a miniskirt. No, that's not a real thing. We need to deal with the root of the issue and make sure that everybody's accountable. But we also need to change our language. It's very, very important.
Look, I didn't say anything because, like I said, it was a space for us to listen, and I hope every man out there that gets to see this actually listens instead of trying to defend. Since I know we're out of time, so I just wanted to take the moment to thank you guys for coming through. Y'all are superstars. Gigi, you're on my second album. Don't even
I just want to say one thing though, like to add to what Azzy said in terms of accountability. I also think in the same breath, like we need to start seeing the arm of justice when these things are happening. You know, in order for us to move forward, there needs to be a level of repercussion for these actions. You know, yes, we are undoing, yes, we are unlearning, yes, we're taking responsibility, but you know, a slap on the back, on the hand is not helping either. You need to be able to know that if you dare lift a hand on someone's daughter, you are going to be locked up.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And because accountability also has a lot to do with how your actions affect your life.
Sure.
If your awful actions are able to undo someone's life, someone's confidence, someone's esteem and health, and possibly even kill them, is what repercussions are on your life? You know, why are you able to walk around living your best life, while I'm stuck there rebuilding pieces of my life? You know, you need to also feel that your action is unlawful. Your action is not only wrong just in the eyes of justice, but it's actually just like a bullshit decision that ends you up in a fucked up situation too. You know, so in the same breath, like, the police officers needs to stop asking us when's
Sure.
Can we start having these kind of things where it's like, bro, like your sister can also get beat up and you'll be the first one to lift your damn gun, but when your daughter from 2 mothers away comes into the police station, you're out here making fun of her, like, no wonder she was raped. You know what I mean? Like, can we have the justice system do its due course to these kind of things? There's just so much that women go through, but like waking up in the morning is difficult. I hate walking down the street because I know like 10 niggas, even if I'm wearing a whole entire blanket, are going to be out here groping me. It's disgusting. It's exhausting. By the time I get to work, I just feel so violated. Like, we need to do better, bruh. Like, our men are letting us down. Like, it's not even a men are trash conversation. It's just sad. It's like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable being around men. Because, like, wow, you guys are heavy. You guys are so heavy on us, and you don't even know. It's the little things. Dude, I don't belong to you. If I don't want to say hello back, just leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to talk to you.
Sure.
And that should be okay. And I think also on that, I think something that's always very, very interesting for me, I don't see why, for instance, like, if something is wrong, we must recognize it as wrong.
Sure.
I don't see why I need to say to you, Jimmy, how would you feel if it was your sister?
You know what I mean?
I don't
Why
feel
are we
like
even getting there?
I don't feel like I need to make it curated to be so personal for you to get it.
Sure.
You should just be able to recognize that it's wrong. And I hate the fact when I see that narrative, I hate the fact that we feel the need to even go there and be like, okay, you don't recognize that this is wrong in and of itself. So I have to step outside of myself, my pain, my fear, my discomfort, and come to you at your level to try with the hope that you will possibly understand where I'm coming from. Like, do I really have to come to you and say, well, how would you feel if it was your mom that got raped? It doesn't need to get to that level. It doesn't need to get to that point. We just need to change our thinking that much. That's what needs to change. Like, I don't need to personalize it and make you feel that thing for you to know wrong is wrong. If something is wrong, it is wrong. And also, unlike what Precious saying, walking down the street, worst. It's horrible, you know. And the thing about it is, now we're scared. You never even know. I don't know if I tell you to fuck off if you're gonna shoot me in the head,
Bro.
I don't know if I say no thank you. And even when you're polite, a lot of guys be like, no, but you guys are rude about it. Because when we say no thank you, you hear try harder. When we say no, you hear maybe. You don't hear no as a full sentence. You don't hear what I'm saying because it's not about me.
Sure.
Like, what you want and your entitlement overshadows everything. And then when I do say fuck off, you're like, well, you're rude, you're a bitch anyway, you ugly anyway.
You're not even pretty.
You know what I mean? Like, why does everything
Let's
have
just
to
not
go
go
to
die, dude.
extreme? Fuck. You know what I mean? And it's like she's saying, but if you saw another dude doing that to your sister, your cousin, your mother, your daughter, you're the first one out, you're like, let's go. Why is it different in a different situation? Why is it okay when you're doing it?
Why are you the same guy to someone else?
And that's the thing, like, it's so scary when, like, someone's like, yo, this dude did this to me. And then you even hear women and just people being like, oh, he would never, he's such a nice guy.
Oh no, trust. That's the new narrative. Like, women scream louder nowadays.
You know what I
Women
mean?
scream louder. Like, in any situation that you'll go through, trust, there'll be that old woman, respectable, who is always on the perpetrator's side, asking you what you did wrong, telling you you need counseling sessions. You're the one who's and the biggest one nowadays is that you're unstable. That's the big one. The minute you cry out and you have these conversations and Precious rants about it on social media or whatever, she's crazy. That's just how
Crazy.
it is.
She's
unstable. Oh, she's attention seeking. That's another one, right?
Yep.
She's attention seeking.
Just doing it for attention. How? Do you think I want to be known as that chick? That's another thing. Like, I feel like when they say that we're attention seeking or whatever, I don't know how you rationalize it in your brain that, like, I want to be known as the girl who had the crap beat out of her by whoever. I don't want that to be my claim to fame in anybody's books. I want to be who I want to be, where I want to be on my own merit. Why would I use that as my claim to fame? It's disgusting. These are real things that women deal with every day. There's a woman who cries herself to sleep every single day. There's a woman who gets triggered just when she sees a man walking down the street. There's a woman who gets triggered just when a man says her name. There's a woman who gets triggered just when she sees a dude approaching. What is going to happen? That's not fair. We shouldn't have to live in fear every single second of every single day.
I try to get home before it gets dark. Like, I ain't trying to be in no alley when it's 6 o'clock. I don't even care if I'm on the train. Like, it's just like,
Dude, you don't even want to have a
It's
daughter.
crazy to live like
I'm
that.
not
You don't
having
even want to have a
children.
daughter.
I'm not having
That's how
children.
scared you are.
It's so bad. I remember when the Karamukana story was really, really big, and I pushed like a lot of late nights at work. And I remember my mom called me and she was like, please do me a favor and hide your hair and wear a cap so when you're driving you don't look like a woman so that they don't target you. That's what our mothers are saying to us. We have to go that far. Don't be too pretty. Don't be too noticeable. Hide. That's what we're being told. My heart broke that day. Like, it's like 10 o'clock at night. She's like, just try not to look like you. Try not to look female so that you're not a target. But the reality is, even if I had to cut all my hair off, tape my tits to my chest, wear a big bomber jacket and show you nothing, you'd still target me. And what am I going to do?
Damn. Oh man, that's crazy to live like that.
And I don't think guys get it. I think that I don't think they get the gist, you know. And that's why I was saying when it comes to love, where men love a certain way and our hearts are renewable, just because we're out here being chatterboxes and screaming at each other when we see each other, and we're just like so extra. We have every right to be extra. Yep. Because tomorrow might be my last day over some stupid shit, you know. So I have every right to be who I want to be, and I don't think guys will ever get it. I think more than anything, more than everything we've said today, like undoing, unlearning, accountability, is if a man could just for one day imagine what it must be like to be a woman. And I'm not talking period pains, having boobs and having babies. It's like, if you had to live the way a woman does, I don't even think men would survive. I don't even think men would survive. Half the shit we have to go through. I'm not talking biology. That's whatever. Like, we know it like clockwork. Every month, sure, I'm gonna die, whatever. But like, just day to day, right? Day to day. Like, even in a service field, we get worse service than guys do. Ooh. Yes. Like, women don't get good service generally. Like, I don't know a guy that's complaining about bad service, and if he has, it's from a woman too, ironically. So it's just like so many things about being a woman that we have to go through. So, but we still love your asses. What would you do?
Hard.
What would you do without us?
Still showing up.
We love y'all too.
We bring color to your life. No. We out here, hard knocks.
Man, yeah, man, we got mad love for y'all, and I hope the gents out here listen, man. Ladies, thank you for coming through. Thank you so much.
Shout out to you for wanting to hear what we have to say. Shout out for putting the real shit in your music, as well. And I think it's really, really powerful when we are just given the right to speak, to be heard. And it's always really, really dope when that is coming from a man. Although there's so many things that need to change in terms of like, it shouldn't just be men being like, yo, it's okay for you to say this right now.
Sure.
But when men do show up for us, we really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for the food, yo. Thank you for the food.
For the ribs. For the ribs.
I got y'all. Thank you, ladies. Gents,
Have you ever felt unsafe in your own home? And when I say your own home, I'm talking about your body, your skin, you as you are. Have you ever felt unsafe just being you? You walking in the street, and your presence just invites violence and hostility, as though you're the trigger to why men have a bad name. Have you ever felt like that? It's crazy. Can you even imagine what that feels like?
Yo, dudes, we gotta be approaching relationships honestly. Murdering a woman we love is breaking camaraderie. It's gotta be put to an end, this an apology. I'm not gonna be the one to raise my hand, baby, I solemnly swear to be the rock of the nation, maintain equality. Loving you was something I promised myself, though it's hard to see. Actions speak louder than words, fuck the verbosity. Here to show you love, so beating you ain't a part of me. Craziness is filled in this world, protected constantly. Try to be a pillar in everything that I'm out to be. Never lay your hands on a woman, Papa said promise me. And Mama told me better than that. Peep the philosophy. Work the single mothers raising sons, being authority. Gotta give it up, man, it's crazy if you're not got to me. Understanding tears and the pain us horribly. Man, the shit that's happening to women really got to me. No respect. What type of but he's clutching on his holster. I told him, Uncle, chill. Now put the gun away before someone gets killed. Relationships are only for the ones that build. I'm only glad Papa never laid his hands on Mom. And this is so before my brothers trying to raise their arms. So put them things away. What you trying to teach your sons? It's hard enough already that they trying to reach for guns. The drug infested blocks, cops stand on either one. I see my brother sniffing coke, heart just bleeds for son. Man, it's crazy cause this world is breeding kings and queens. My cousin fucked up in the head, can't even reach his dreams. A lost nation being slaved by all these fiends and cleans. I told him keep your head up, it's crazy as it seems.